Welcome back. I'm Dr. Cheek. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and today I'm going to be talking about something a little different. I kind of hesitate to talk about this topic because it's so prevalent right now in everyday social media world, but it's almost hard to not talk about because I go on internal rants whenever I actually see some of the posts and read some of the comments. So I decided to make a video about it. And if you haven't guessed, today I'm going to be making a video about specifically Chrisean and Blueface, and my take on their relationship. And I'll talk about my take a little bit later. But first I want to focus on why do we follow people like Chrisean and Blueface. One of the reasons is because it's entertaining. Honest to God, it's just entertaining. Another reason is that some of us kind of see them as relationship models because we haven't seen relationships modeled for us in our everyday lives. We look for those relationship models in social media, in TV, in different places outside of our immediate family or sometimes outside of our peer relationships. So for some people, they are a relationship model. And lastly, we have this inherent bias that money makes everything better. So the assumption is because they make money, their relationship shouldn't be as chaotic or hectic as it is or it appears to be. And that doesn't seem to be the case. Money typically makes our living situations better, but it doesn't make our interpersonal relationships better necessarily. Also, reality TV is just modern day soap operas. We engage in watching reality TVs the same way our parents and our grandparents watch soap operas. We followed Victor. I was a young and the restless, guiding light, bold and a beautiful girl growing up. So we followed those relationships. We were tuned in daily to watch the new soap opera, the new drama unfold. But reality TV has turned into the new soap operas. And just as scripted as soap operas are, reality TV feels just as scripted and has been proven to, in most cases, to be scripted as well. So this is probably why we follow people like Chrisean and Blueface. And Chrisean and Blueface aren't the first. I apologize. Chrisean, Blueface, and Jaden are not the first. We also had Stevie J, Jocelyn Hernandez, and Mimi Faust. We also had Peter Guns, Amina, and Tara. So these relationship dynamics aren't new. These will not be the last people we follow in this relationship dynamic. They are just entertaining in this moment. But the reason I want to talk about them is because we talk about them a lot in reference to love and a love relationship. And for me, their relationship does not seem to be built off love. It seemed to be built and maintained through fear. And disclaimer, social media disclaimer, and disclaimer from a psychologist. I have not met either of these individuals personally, so my assessment of them is based off of those 15 to 60 minute snippets of their lives that they show us each week or each day. Now, let me be really clear. There are 10,400 minutes in a week. So a 15-minute snippet or a 60-minute snippet of somebody's life is not a depiction of their life in its entirety in any way. So let me be really clear and say, I don't know these people personally. I don't know the backstory of their lives. I know what they're willing to show me in these very small snippets of their entire week. Let's be generous. Let's account for, let's say you're getting 10 hours of sleep a night in a 7-hour period, in a 7-day period. That's 70 hours. Let's take those 70 hours off of those 10,000. It's still over 10,000 minutes. And we are getting anywhere from 15, and I'll be generous, to 200 minutes of their 10,000 minutes a week. We do not know these people personally. So I implore you to take social media, especially pictures, because those are seconds of someone's day. But I implore you to take your assessment of individuals on social media, on different platforms where you get a snippet of their week, and be clear that you are not seeing the entirety of their lives or what they're going through, and you honestly do not know these people personally. So I would encourage you not to get as invested as some people seem to be in the lives of individuals that we do not know personally. Now, with that being said, with that disclaimer and that caveat, what I see in their relationship is not not a relationship based off love. They like to discuss soul ties or feeling like a moth to the flame or feeling like they have this unbreakable connection. With Krishan, her family history or the family dynamics that they display is that one of instability and insecurity. So she has a very what seems to be a codependent personality. So she's looking for someone in her life to take care of her, to make sure she's safe, to give her some sense of stability. And when she finds that person feels very comforting because they want to make sure she's safe. They want to make sure she has a stable environment and there is some level of stability. And that feels comforting to her because that's what she feels like she has been searching for throughout her life, because it doesn't seem like she had that as a child. Now, on the other hand, you have Blueface. And Blueface is what I see as a true reflection of someone who has either narcissistic tendencies, narcissistic personality disorder. And I say this very hesitantly and not very flippant, as most people say it today, because we tend to throw out narcissists for poor behavior in general. If somebody cheats, they're a narcissist. If somebody lies, they're a narcissist. That's not what narcissism is. That's not what a narcissist is. The reasons why I feel like Blueface has narcissistic tendencies is narcissistic tendencies are narcissistic personality disorder when we love ourselves at the detriment of everyone else around us. The only person we care about is us. We do not care about who else we hurt. We do not care about whatever else is happening around us if it doesn't pertain to us. That's what narcissistic tendencies, that is one of the hallmarks, narcissistic personality disorder, is that you are the most important aspect of your life and everyone else's. No one else matters. And for him, it seems like he grew up in an environment where his value was determined by what he brought to the relationships or what he could provide to the relationships. Even as a child, he had to do good in school, or he had to be the best performer on the football team, or he has to be the best in the acting studio. He has to be the best. So in order for him to get love or to receive love in any way, he had to be the best. And if he wasn't the best, then he didn't receive that love. Then he didn't receive that caring. Then he didn't receive that affection. So he may felt abandoned. And one of the bedrocks of narcissism is the fear of abandonment. So for him, he looks for partners that are dedicated and dote on him, because if they're there for him, if they feel like he is the most important part of the relationship, then they're less likely to abandon him. So for him and Krishan, what feels like love or this soul tie or these moths to the flame that just can't get enough of each other, is not built off love. It's actually tapping into their fear response. Her fear of instability, of not feeling cared for or not feeling safe. She sees that in Blueface, and she feels like she can rely on him because he's been there for her. He's been a source of support for her. He's been a source of stability for her. And she maintains this relationship because it seems almost similar to the relationship model that she had growing up, which was a chaotic, toxic relationship environment between her mother and her father. Her mother never stopped caring for her father and being in that relationship, no matter how toxic, aggressive, dangerous, or conflictual that relationship became. And she's creating those same dynamics in this relationship with Blueface or Jonathan. And they have these same dynamics in their relationship. And she feels comfortable in this space because she feels like she knows how to navigate this space. And again, he gives her stability and comfort. He gives her stability and safety. And that is what she's thriving for. That is what she's looking for. And she fears not having that. So because I fear that, and I fear I may not get that from the next partner, I am going to hold on to this one. Blueface has a fear of abandonment. He has a fear of people not loving him or not feeling good enough. So, of course, he's going to be drawn to someone who is so invested in him that they're willing to get 7 tattoos of them tattooed on their body. This young lady had this young man's face tattooed on her neck. I might have went with a locket or something that kind of said I love you, but is not attached to me and I can take it off. But that's neither here nor there. That's my own personal. However, that demonstrated a level of commitment to him that showed that she needed him. And when we feel needed, we no longer fear being abandoned. No one leaves us that needs us. So when I fear abandonment, I am looking for someone who needs me in some way. Because if they need me, then I know they won't leave. So this is why they feel drawn to each other. It doesn't feel like, and it doesn't look like it's based off love, because when we love someone, we kind of care about their well-being. We have a level of affection towards them. So we typically don't purposely try to hurt people that we love. And that doesn't seem to be the case in their relationship. So for me, their relationship seems less focused on love for one another and more focused on their own internalized fears and holding on to those things that do not cause us to have that same level of fear. So my predictions for their relationship moving forward is this. I predict that Krishan will continue to stay in this house that they had together before. Blueface, or Jonathan, once he's released from jail, will spend time with Jaden because now they have an alternative house and an alternative space for them to be a family. So he'll spend time with them both. And now they both have dedicated spaces for themselves. And I also predict chances are he may marry Jaden. And you're probably looking at this screen saying, Dr. Cheek, why would you say that? I predict he'll marry Jaden because Jaden has proven that she will not leave. Regardless of what he does, regardless of his behavior, regardless of who he is and what she sees him do with her own eyes, she will not leave. What I've seen of these two so far, Jaden and Jonathan, is that the only time she's left this relationship is when he's told her to leave or when he's forced her to leave. And for him, this is a demonstration of her dedication to him. Again, that narcissism, that narcissistic personality, that narcissistic tendency is to hold on to that person who I feel will never leave. Because then if I know they won't ever leave me, then I don't have to fear being abandoned. I don't ever have to fear not being good enough. So he'll hold on to Jaden because she has demonstrated that regardless of what he does, she's not going to leave unless she's asked to leave by him or forced to leave by him. Krishan, on the other hand, when she's not drinking, when she's not smoking, when she has a clearer thought process, she has left. She has chosen to leave. She has chosen to find alternative resources for herself. She has shown that she's not willing to be mistreated and stay in certain situations. However, she continues to demonstrate her dedication to him in other ways by continuing to allow him to be in whatever space he wants to be in that is for her, to call her whenever he wants to make time for him whenever he wants her to make time for him, and to actually just to be at his beckoning call. So I'll leave, but I'm still at your beckoning call. So that demonstrates my dedication to you. So he may not marry Krishan because his fear of her possibly leaving is valid. She may sober up one day and decide, like, this is toxic. This is not for me. And she has demonstrated that she has the ability to walk away. But she's also demonstrated that dedication that he feels like he's drawn to in those very toxic ways. So what I've hoped you've learned from today's conversation is this. We don't know anybody personally when we follow them on social media. So try to limit your investment into their lives because it only stresses you out for someone you've never met. 2, relationships that you feel drawn to are not always love relationships. It's not always love that's drawing you to this person. It may be a fear that an internalized fear that you have not addressed that you may need to look into and question. Like, why am I so drawn to this person? Do I really love this person? Do I really care about their well-being? Do I really feel any level of affection for this person? Or do I fear losing this person? And if it's I fear losing this person, then ask yourself, why do you fear losing this person? What do they bring to you that you value more than being loved by this person? Please feel free to jot down any questions or thoughts you have about today's video, and I hope it helps. And I hope you've learned something. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Thank you.